Hey guys, if you are looking for some easy activity and art projects that you can throw in your lesson plans for the letter Q, you came to the right place. All right, today we're talking about the letter Q. So we're going to start off with art. To begin with, you can make a letter Q paper with quinoa. Now, here's a little bit of advice. I bought quinoa at the store and I did not pay attention to what quinoa I was buying. I bought microwavable quinoa. So, problem with this is it's not dry. If you are buying quinoa in the store, please make sure that you buy the dry quinoa, because otherwise you're trying to do art with wet quinoa. It just doesn't work. And let me tell you, I tried. Let's say you've paid attention to what quinoa you bought and you have dried quinoa. To make your Q paper, all you have to do is let the kids design something with glue, and then you're going to sprinkle the quinoa over it and shake it off just like you would do with glitter. And they can make a picture out of quinoa. And seriously, make sure you buy dry quinoa. The next art project is putting jewels on a picture of a queen. So I used Canva and printed out a picture of a queen, and then I would let the kids color it, and then you can add jewels or jewel stickers to the queen. This is fun because jewels are something that we don't get to use as often in doing art a lot of times in the classroom, and so the kids will like getting to use them to decorate their queen. Next, you may have seen this one before, but it's to make a quilt with paper squares. To make this a little easier for the kiddos, you can print out a grid on a sheet of paper to let them know where you kind of want the squares to go. And of course, it doesn't really matter if they are perfectly on that sheet of paper, because it'll give that quilt some character when they finish it. And then make sure you add the crisscross stitching where the squares meet in the corners to make it look more like a quilt. For activities, you could play a game of hot and cold, but to make this work with the letter Q, instead of saying hot and cold, you can use Q words for if they're getting close, and then other words if they're further away. So making this a little more educational, they will have to listen for the Q sound when you're saying those words. Another game you can play is the quiet game. Now I know as teachers we use this a lot as a way to entertain the kiddos if we have to wait, or just as kind of a filler activity. You could make it even more of a game to see how long they could go. If you've never played the quiet game, you're going to have the kids sit as quiet as possible, and if they are sitting very quietly, you pick one of them and they get to come be the person who chooses the next person for the quiet game. And so they will come to the front of the room, they will look at all of their friends, and then they will pick someone sitting quietly. And then it keeps going on in a circle, picking kids who are sitting quietly to come up to the room and pick the next child. Hopefully I explained that well, because in my mind, it made total sense. Next, you could play hide the quarter under the quilt. So you can use the quilts that the kids made, or you could have maybe some smaller ones that you've put together, and you're going to put the kids kind of around you, either at one of your circle tables, or let the kids play this with each other, and they're going to take turns hiding the quarter under one of the quilts and trying to guess which quilt the quarter's under. The nice thing is they can't really tell when it's laying flat on the table, and so it will be truly a guessing game. And lastly, you can do a quick test with the kids. So you will have different activities set up, like maybe running from one place to the next, scooping things from one bin to the next, pouring, maybe building a tower, and you are going to time the kids and see how quick they can do it. Maybe you could even have little awards for the kiddos that were able to complete the activities the quickest. Next is sensory. For the letter Q, I have 3 sensory ideas. The first one is to sort quarters. So for this one, it's going to be kind of like a coin sort, where you would sort the coins into different buckets or different bowls. But for this one, you're actually only going to sort the quarters out. So every other coin is going to go into the other bowl, and the quarters will go into its own separate bowl. Next is to use quick oats. So you'll fill your sensory bin with quick oats, and then give them cups and scoops and maybe some popsicle sticks to play with in the bin. And then lastly, you can throw your dry quinoa in your sensory bin and use that as the base of your sensory bin, and then add your scoops and cups and things that the kids can play with in that bin. Did I mention that you should make sure you get dry quinoa? It works so much better. A couple snack ideas for the letter Q would be quick oats made into oatmeal, and then some quinoa as well. So I hope those ideas are helpful to you so that you have activities and art that you can put in your lesson plans for the letter Q. If it was helpful, don't forget to give this video a like down below. You can check out all the different letter ideas here, and then if you subscribe to the channel, you can see all the videos that come out in the future. You can also check out in the description links to items similar to those that I used in my art and activity ideas today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.